So you're telling me I remodeled and sold my paid off home in Florida last year for no reason. I moved to Texas now for absolutely no reason. I'm no longer building my new home now that was supposed to be finished in 2 months. I'm moving back to Florida next week, and I've not been able to create new content in the last 30 days. And I just got done being stabbed in the face 2 weeks ago by a bunch of needles. I think I owe you guys some explanations. Oh, how I wish that intro was clickbait. My life has been not too great the last little while. So I felt like today I should just explain what's been going on in my life the last month and a half or so and kind of give you guys some life updates and whatnot, because things have been quite hectic and there's a lot that's been going on, a lot that is going on, a lot that will be going on, and just kind of explain to you guys why I've been kind of absent on socials, especially YouTube, the last little while, and just give you the 411 while we do some skincare and just fill you in on a little bit of everything. So if you guys like the chit chat kind of videos, ones that are a little bit longer, you'll be in for a treat today. Normally I cut out the fluff in my videos and stick with like the main, meat of the video, but today I'm not going to be cutting out a lot because this video is all about me just like talking. So we're going to do some skincare and I'm just going to chit chat and kind of fill you in on stuff. As you all know, if you've been here for a hot minute, I love to talk. So I will try to keep stuff in order and in line so you're not here for like 4 hours, but today's video will probably be longer than my average video. So with that being said, let's get talking. Alrighty, so my face looks rough, so we love that for me. So let's take it back to, first and foremost, why I haven't been posting new content, like especially long form content on YouTube in the last like 5 or 6 weeks. So that would be because of my face. So this bad boy right here, you're like, oh, it's just a little red mark. It hasn't just been a little red mark. So taking it back, I was first and foremost a long form creator, of course, on YouTube when I started all of my content, all those years ago, and then started, creating short form content as that became a thing. Now, I got back on track with long form content back in October, November, and was posting a new long form video like every other day, every 2 days, something like that, and had been on top of that hardcore until about a month and a half ago. And that was because I got a cyst on my face right here. And it started growing really overnight, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. It got very sore, and it got to the size of like my finger. Like it was like literally this big. You couldn't miss it.
Look at that.
Like to drill it.
Would you just look at it?
And I was like, don't really want to be on camera looking like that, especially with makeup. Like you couldn't miss it. It was like a whole person on my face. And then it just got really red. It got very, very painful. Went to the dermatologist. They're like, let's just keep monitoring it. They gave me this cilantro cream to put on top of it. That didn't help. They gave me doxycycline. That hasn't helped. Went back a couple times. They're like, well, we don't want to cut it open because you'll definitely get scarred and it's right in the center of your face. Do I have toothpaste on my mouth? Probably. They're like, we don't want to scar you. It's right in the center of your face. I'm like, yeah, let's not do that. So I went 2 weeks ago and they gave me several shots of cortisone in my face because I had like this growth that got on top of it. So I had like this finger dime sized cyst. It was an infected, inflamed, sebaceous pore or sebaceous gland, something like that. And then I had like this growth on top of it that was infected. So it was a literal whole mess. So it's like a trillion times better. I still have a mark there from where they stabbed me and from where that other growth was. But I'm going back today in literally 45 minutes. It is April 25th right now when I'm filming this. I go back in literally 45 minutes. Oh my gosh, what time is it? Actually, I go back in a half hour to have them stab me again a couple more times with more cortisone. You can't really see the lump now, but there is still a lump underneath my face that needs to be like improved upon. So as far as like the main reason why I haven't like actually physically, visibly been on camera, that is the reason why. So with that being said, now that my face is healing or has healed enough to where I can actually be on camera and be actually allowed to put makeup on my face, I will be able to. Now that's not really the heavy stuff that's been going on in my life. There's been a lot of other things. Also, before we really get into stuff, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do. I post regularly to my community tab here on YouTube, so you can get life updates and just other updates outside of my video uploads. So if you want to keep, in line and updated with what's going on in my life, I do post that regularly because I do talk about what's going on in my life. So I have talked about some of these things in the last several weeks and months and stuff like that. So some of you have seen some of these updates because you're subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, maybe you haven't seen it, and that's why. So there's that. Now, for those who don't know, I'm not just a content creator. I've been a business owner for 11 years. My main business is being in social media marketing and advertising. So within that business umbrella that I have, half of it, that subsection, is being a content creator. The other subsection is being a social media coordinator or manager for businesses and brands around the world. I've worked with, 50 plus at this point. I've lost track over the years, but the roles and responsibilities with those titles varies from brand to brand, and the length of time I'm with those brands or companies varies from brand to brand. So at any given time, I'm working with between 2 and 4 at one given time because it can be very involved and takes up a lot of my time. So it does get very difficult to manage all the work that I do with these companies and also creating content and doing what I do as a content creator. So obviously the priority has to be given to the companies that hire me because like with Winky Looks, for example, I worked with them 80 to 100 hours literally per week, literally, unfortunately, for a solid year. You know, with Gerard Cosmetics, I've been working with them for the last 6 months. With Silky Gem, I've been working with them for almost the last 4 months now. You know, with ColourPop, I worked with them just about 2 months or so. Like, you know, so there's been a lot of brands. I work with local companies. I work with companies all around the world. So I do things on just some, you know, project basis. I work with companies for up to a year, sometimes 3 months. So it just depends. So my workload can be slow sometimes, but sometimes it can be extremely overwhelming. So it's a really difficult balance sometimes between the social media coordinator manager side of what I do with my business and the content creator side. So that's why I've always said that content batching is so important because I'm able to have that content ready to go when I am super, super busy, whether it's my personal life or with the other side of my business. But when I have things like this bad boy pop up and it completely derails everything I'm doing, it's very hard to be ahead and be on track and be on top of everything. So that's all that stuff. Now to get into the heavier side of things, as far as like personal life stuff, as you may or may not know, originally I'm from Ohio. My husband and I moved from Ohio to Florida in 2022. And my husband was supposed to be like semi-retired. He's not at the age to actually retire. He was supposed to just be down there and chilling, didn't need to like work. I was like, I got it covered. You don't need to really do anything if you don't want to, like do whatever you want to do down there. No pressure. And Tesla had been reaching out to him for several years now to come work for them, but they always offered him a job in California. And we were like, or states like that. And we're like, we don't want to live in places like that. Not for us. And we had just finished remodeling our home in Florida. The house is paid off. You guys know I'm all about transparency. I'm just an open book. So that's why I'm telling you certain things like that. So, and because it does hold weight in the context of what I'm telling you. So the house was paid off. We had just remodeled the house, you know, cool. And they had reached out and were like, hey, we want to offer you this production manager position at the Giga plant in Austin, Texas. And this is one of his dream jobs. He's a huge car person and house stuff like remodeling and all those types of things is right up his alley. He has been very sought after by Tesla because he has 20 plus years in auto manufacturing and management experience. So like they've been going after him for years. But like I said, he's always turned it down. And so it was just one of those things. It's like, well, Texas weather is similar to Florida weather. So we're like, okay, we'll consider it, you know. The offer was something that was like kind of hard to refuse. And we're like, well, we haven't been in Florida that long. So everything was just kind of like, well, all right. You know, we put our house up for sale. We sold it in 3 hours and off to Austin, Texas. So we get here and we are renting this house that we're currently in right now. And we start building this new house. And we had been down in Austin the year prior to start talking to a builder while we were waiting for his official offer letter. And then they had done like a hiring freeze and then like picked back up the hiring after that. And it was a whole mess. So we finally get down here and like I said, we're in this rental house right now. We start building with this builder and the builder was a whole disaster in itself. Like they were just so unprofessional and just such a mess and we're messing up all kinds of stuff. And so it was one of those things where it's like, honestly, it was like a blessing in disguise to like end up not even building with this house eventually. But like, anyway, to not get too distracted and off track. The house was to the point where it's like, we had an estimated closing date of like 2 months left before this house was finished and literally signed to be closing on the house. And it's like officially, you know, hours and getting ready to move into it. So maybe you have not seen, but Mr. Wonderful Elon Musk decided to lay off about 10% of their global workforce, which is about 14,000 employees. And of course, my husband is one of them. Mind you, we sold our home in Florida, uprooted our entire life, moved all the way from Florida to Texas for this job, started building this home, and my husband got laid off with all these other people. So we are in this moment at the end of April, at the moment. He does not have this job that we moved all the way here for. Mind you, he didn't need this job. We didn't move here because he needed a job. We moved here because he was offered this job and they had been going after him for all these years and he accepted this job. So we uprooted. And mind you, none of this is my husband's fault in any way whatsoever. This is solely Tesla's fault. All of these events right now are Tesla's fault, not my husband's. So we moved here specifically because of Tesla.
I'm so freaking pissed.
So started this house process, all these things because of Tesla. And Tesla lays off with no notice, mind you, all these employees. So again, this is not just solely affecting myself and my husband, it's all these other employees. And, you know, on the news, they were like, oh, you know, making it seem like they got all this notice. Most of the employees did not find out that they didn't have a job until they walked up to the building, scanned their badge, and were denied entry to the building. And then later that morning, they got an email saying, you don't have a job. Sorry about it. So yeah, husband found out that day that he no longer had a job. You know, the one that we moved our entire life to Texas for and sold our paid off home for, the one that we spent 16 or 18 months, I lose track again at this point, remodeling that home for this job. We come here. So we no longer are building this home. The cancellation is already in effect. We got our deposits back, thankfully. So again, I try to find the positive and the silver lining and everything. So it could have been worse. We could have just closed on that home, you know, officially, and then had this payment and all these things and moved into this house, and then my husband loses his job. You know, obviously I make my own money and stuff like that, but again, to carry, you know, a new home payment and all the things that go with it all by myself was not the plan and shouldn't have to be that way. You know what I mean? So at the moment, as it stands, we are no longer building that house. We will no longer be staying in Texas because we only moved here for that job, as I've said 12 times. I know, I get distracted. So it is April 25th. And we are officially moving back to Florida. We're moving to Orlando. We have the car shippers lined up. We have the moving truck lined up. We are moving out of this rental house May 3rd. We are driving back to Florida. This time we are moving to Orlando, Florida. So it'll be a different experience compared to where we lived in Florida last time. We lived in New Smyrna Beach last time. So we'll be a little bit further from the beach rather than 10 minutes, but at least we'll actually have stuff to do this time, whereas last time there was nothing to do where we lived. So it'll be a different experience. I think it'll be a fun experience. Like I said, I've tried to find the positivity and the silver lining in everything. It was no secret to anybody, I didn't want to leave Florida. I wanted to go back to Florida since we moved here. I was just trying to be the supportive, nice husband, of course. That was like, follow your dreams. This is what your dream job. Let's go do it, you know. Life has been hectic, you know. Work has been hectic. You know, moving here in the first place was hectic. Since moving here, it's just been nothing but drama. You know, the movers that we hired to move us here destroyed literally about $20,000 worth of our brand new furniture because we bought all new furniture when we moved to Florida, because the people who bought our Ohio house bought virtually all of our furniture, all of our stuff. No, they bought all of our furniture, not like our possessions. They bought all of our furniture. So when we moved to Florida, we remodeled the house, so we didn't have any furniture. We bought all new furniture. So that furniture came with us to Texas, and the movers destroyed basically all of our furniture. So that's fun. And we still have not got any type of resolution with that. So it's been fighting with them this whole time. Then we've been fighting with this builder. Now, obviously the Tesla stuff happened. So it's just been, since we've moved here, it's been nothing but hassle, drama, just nothing but craziness. It has been nothing but negativity since we've left Florida. And now here we are moving back. This whole process has just been basically bleeding us money. So it's been not a fun time. And then of course, like I said, I'm not in my like creator focused zone mentality. So it's like, for me, in order to be on camera and like create content that I'm excited about and passionate about, I feel like I don't feel like it. I have to be like in my zone, in my moment. Cause I don't film like one video and call it a day. I film for like 6 to 8 hours. I film multiple YouTube videos. I film 20 plus, you know, short form pieces of content. And it's like a full process for me, you know what I mean? I can't just get on camera and like fake happy, you know what I mean? And I feel bad because I feel, you know, I see my numbers declining, and I see like, you know, nobody's growing on TikTok anymore. Nobody's getting views. Like, it's not just me, it's everybody. I see that. But like even on YouTube, like I was so happy I was pumping out this content, and even on YouTube, I don't care about YouTube, like long form views not being there. They never have been there for me. So it's like, but I was just happy that I was being consistent again with long form, because I've always posted shorts like every day, but like long form is much harder. It's a much longer process. So I was like happy to get back in the routine, and then like the face thing, I keep playing on the wrong side. Like the face thing happens and it just completely derailed me. And then I was just like, the anxiety flares up because I'm like, you know, I'm not on my routine. I'm not, you know, doing what I'm supposed to do. It's been a mess, whether personal life stuff, work stuff. So I'm very happy at the end of the day to go back to Florida. I'll be very happy to get situated back in this new house. We'll just be renting a house for the time being. I signed a 1-year lease at this new house for the time being, kind of just get resituated, just figure out what we want to do moving forward, find a new home to actually buy, and it'll just take a hot minute to kind of get resituated, figure out what we want to do, figure out what he wants to do. I don't care what he wants to do. Like, he can do whatever he wants. But yeah, it's just been so many things happening all at once, and I just wanted to kind of give you guys the rundown, because it's just been, like I said, it's been so many things from moving. I'm like, how many states am I going to live in 3 years? How many times am I going to move? You know, I mean, because I was documenting like the house building process because it was so exciting, and now all of a sudden I'm not building a house, and everyone's like, oh, you're moving to Florida, I'm so excited. And then it's like, you're moving to Texas, and now you're moving back to Florida, and why aren't you, you're pumping out content every other day on YouTube, like long form. Now you're not posting anything in a month and a half, like, you know what I mean? Like, and so many of you have been here since like day one for like the last like 5 years or whatever. So I don't know, I just wanted to make this video. I know I'm like rambling and just nothing but talking. But I just wanted to like make a video. Where have I been? What's been going on? Because again, very transparent, open book. Wanted to like fill you all in on everything that's going on. So like I said, I'm moving literally in 8 days. So obviously I have to pack up all my stuff here in the next couple days. So I will try and get situated in Florida as quickly as possible and really try to get back on my everyday routine and getting back up at 9 in the morning and filming all day and editing and just really getting back on my grind of pumping out content. This bad boy, I did it again, wrong side. This bad boy should be fully healed, I would hope, in the next week or two anyway. I'm just doing a great job at healing at this moment. And hopefully I'll have another background change. I'm so tired of this background. I hate this background. I miss my Ohio background and I miss my Florida background. But I'll probably have this for another hot moment, but I would like to change it again. But yeah, so that's basically everything that's going on. Hopefully you guys got through this whole video and hopefully it wasn't boring and annoying, but I just wanted to give you guys the full spiel of everything that's been going on in my life for those who care. And maybe one of these days these brows will eventually resemble each other, but I don't know. But that's all I have for you guys. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. If you don't care, I'm sorry that I bored you to death. And if you do care, thanks for caring. But that's all I have for you guys. I will definitely do my absolute best to get back to regularly scheduled programming, all the beauty things. I have the new Blend Bunny collection sitting over here. I'm dying to get that on my face. I'm behind on a lot of beauty stuff, of course, but I will do my absolute best to get real content out to you as quickly as humanly possible for me. But that's all I have for you in today's video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up down below. Don't forget to click that big red subscribe button so you can join my YouTube family, and I'll see you guys in the next one.